Greetings, juicers. Now, we've been getting a lot of requests for nut milks because I'm always going on about it. I'm known as Mr. Almond amongst some circles because I'm a big fan of almonds. But we've been getting a lot of people contacting us going, how do we do nut milks? I've heard you can do nut milks with the Hurom, and you can indeed do nut milks. And in actual fact, it's probably the preeminent nut milk making machine available today, amongst other things. So what I decided to do was I've written a whole nut milk primer which you can find on our website www.quarren.com.au, but I thought I'd just do a video because videos are easier than reading lots of words these days. So anyway, so here we go. So I was just down in Victoria the other day, down in Melbourne, and I went to 53 East, which is a wonderful Iranian dried fruit stall at the Prawn Markets. You must go there if you live in Melbourne, if you haven't already been, and if you have already been, go again. And anyway, so the lovely people there have given me these wild figs, which are basically I've just soaked them overnight and just in filtered water, and already you can see, you can't taste, but you can see they've just got a beautiful syrup already with them, and they've just puffed up a little bit compared to what they were in their dry state. So we've got, I don't know, probably about 10 little wild figs. They're going to act as our sweetener in today's nut milk. We've also got some beautiful wild pistachios from the guys at Happy Fruits, who are also another I don't know, fruit wholesaler, dry fruit wholesaler and nut reseller in Victoria. They do a lot of the markets around Melbourne. So Chan over there, who runs the show, has just gets some wonderful locally grown fruits and nuts. So we've got those pistachios from Victoria, and then also we've got, obviously in nut milk, well not obviously, but the primary component that I use in nut milk are almonds. I find they're the best. Now the ones that I get from Happy Fruit in Victoria are called nonpareils, and Chan actually grows these because they have the thinnest skin and they actually have the sweetest taste, and I really do have to say these are unbelievable almonds. They're organic and they're just absolutely wonderful. So we'll do a whole load of things, make crackers with them and everything, but today we're going to be making milk, nut milk. So, and then just here as well, we've got from the guys at Loving Earth some beautiful, basically it's chopped up vanilla beans. So I've had this soaking overnight as well, just to soften it up, and then I've just chopped it up into small pieces. So normally they're about this long, and we've just chopped that up, and that just basically enables the Hurom to just process those without the fibers getting wrapped around the Hurom's mechanism. So just in terms of quantities, I've got about 250 grams of almonds when they were dry. Now we've had these soaked and then rinsed, so soaked overnight and then rinsed, so they've puffed up a little bit and they've actually expanded in size, so they look more than they actually are when they're dried. So about 250 grams of almonds soaked. We've got figs that have been soaked. Now you could soak dates or any other kind of dried fruit as the sweetener. We've got some soaked pistachios, and then we've got some soaked vanilla beans. So you might be noticing a bit of a theme here. Everything's soaked, and that's really just because we're dealing more with dried product. We just want to get a bit of moisture back into the product, otherwise it's going to be hard to extrapolate any of the flavours. And also with the almonds, we're soaking them and getting rid of those nutrient inhibitors, which basically protect the almonds on their journey to finding a new home. Only today's home for them is a Hurom. So what we're going to add to that is around about 800 mils of water, which I've got filtered by my Chanson water filter. If you're interested in the best ionised water filters on the market, you should go and see waterhealthcare.com.au. They've got amazing machines. That's what we use here. So primo water, primo product, primo machine equals primo nut milk, and that's what we're going to do right now. So it's a bit of a balancing juggling act. We're going to turn the machine on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand this stuff away. You're going to see it in a second. I don't need to describe it, you can see it yourself. So I'm basically going to just start putting these almonds through here and then just pouring a little bit of water through. So you do want a jug that's going to pour water quite slowly. I do find that the Hurom jugs, if you've got a spare one, don't pour water that great, bless them. So that's why we're using this jug. And then just mix the product in. So I'm going to put a few of the pistachios in. So you should start seeing some beautiful green paleness coming out of the spout, and then we're also going to start throwing in a few of those through the figs as well. And I'm not sure how that's looking, but it should be looking rather nice. Now, what we're going to end up with in a second is possibly that we filled up the lug hole there. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to turn that off. So look at that, that's 1 litre of nut milk. Now, as you can see, I've got a bit of leftover here. If you really wanted to, and you've got a bit left over, you can quite simply grab the milk and then just pour it back through and reprocess anything that you've got left over. You can even put this through again if you sort of, you know, think that you can get a bit more out of that than you can. And then people are always saying to me, what can you do with this? And we were just at Master Show last week and I was showing people, we were demonstrating the nut milk, and I had one lady say to me, she goes, what are almonds? And I kind of thought, is she just having a laugh or something? And then somebody else in the audience who was watching a demo pointed out to me, actually it's almonds, and that's how we pronounce them in Australia. So I've been pronouncing almonds incorrectly. So it's almond milk for those of you in Australia who have that bent, but I've been calling them almonds. So there you go. Anyway, won't dwell on that. So basically we've got a litre of almond milk or almond milk with pistachios, with some vanilla beans, and then also sweetened with wild figs. It is going to taste amazing, I know, because I make it on a once every 2 day basis. So I'm just going to take that out there. Now you may just want to give it a little bit of a stir. Let's go there. Now also what you can do is you can just filter this again. You'll get a little bit of nut fibre in there. So a lot of people like that. If you want it super fine, then you can get a chef's bag, which are bags like these, which are basically nylon, and they have like a 150 micron sort of netting in them, and that'll catch any really fine fibre. You can use those as well for your juices as well if you ever want a super fine juice. So here we go. Now I'd say the pouring on these isn't the best, and I'll tell you, this is absolutely manna for heaven. Now, what are the alternatives? You can pretty much use any other nuts that you want. Don't use peanuts, they're toxic and they're not good, and they're just bad. A bit like soybeans, and my pet hates in the nut and bean world. You can also use Brazil, so all the good nuts, macadamias. Just soak most of those nuts for at least 4 hours, just to loosen them up and soften them up a little bit. Same, you can use dried fruits. Can just try to go easy on it, because there's a lot of sugar in there still in those. And then, you know, like I say, the vanilla beans. You can use cinnamon. You can mix white peach in there. You can put you can just use your imagination. How about that for a starter? Anyway, but that is a good starting block. This is stunning, and it's raw, and it's fresh, and it's organic. You can even make coffee with it. I put coffee in that before, it's spectacular. Anyway, that's it. I've probably got a milk moustache there. That's it, Nut Milk Primer. If you've got any questions, give us a call. Good luck, and let us share us any recipes that you may be around nut milks. Thank you very much for watching.